Alright, hey, Hayes Omega here. Welcome to the Hayes Omega Moto channel, and it's another Sur Ron Light Bees video. So today I'll be doing a video on this gadget right here. We'll take a close look at it. This is the Sur Ron speed controller, or I just call it a throttle box is what I call it. And we'll take a today I'm going to show you how to install a new throttle box on your Sur Ron Light. So I think the older Sur Ron Light Bees, like circa 2019 and older, come with this setup, and we'll go over it. And then I actually have a full digital throttle, okay, full electronic throttle that I haven't installed yet. So the newer Sur Rons, I think like 2020 and up, have the newer style throttle. Okay, so this is for like older style Sur Rons, and I'll tell you from what I hear, this is still better than the newer style throttle. Okay, so, but Hayes Omega has to find out for himself yet, so I won't go 100% on that comment right there. All right, so I'm going to show you how to install one of these guys, how to locate it, how it works, and how to install one. All right. So let's go check this guy out. All right. Okay, welcome to the deck of my racer scooter. So this is what it looks like from Lunicycle. I bought this from Lunicycle for $15. They've been out of stock for as long as I can remember. Okay, so they came in stock one day, and I bought 2 of them. I have a feeling that there's something wrong with the throttle box on my Sur Ron Light Bee, okay? Because when I wash my bike and it gets wet, the throttle stays stuck open, okay? Even though the throttle isn't open, you know, type of thing. And I have a feeling it's because this gets wet, you know. So I think for $15, just change it. It's a very inexpensive item, okay? So this is what it looks like coming straight from Lunicycle. It says Sur Ron SPD control. It's a Sur Ron speed control is what it is, okay? And it says Sur Ron replacement speed adjustment controller, okay? That's the full technical name for it. All right, so we're gonna go open this. Like I said, I have 2 of these. I actually have 3 of them because my buddy gave me his old one. But I wound up never using it. So, and I wound up getting this, okay? So that's what it looks like. Alright, it's by a company named Li Guang, okay, so there it is. It's basically, I think, what they call a Hall sensor, okay, so when this turns, it outputs a certain amount of voltage, okay, I think somewhere from like 1 to like 4 volts or something. Now I did check mine, and it is good. There's a way you can check it if you can see the voltages that it's outputting. And I can do that through the backdoor app in the for the BAC controller. Okay, but basically, it's this is what tells your throttle how much power, you know, how much power you're outputting, and the cable goes through here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So that's what we'll be taking out and replacing. All right, so let's go take a look at the bike real quick. Okay, welcome to the cockpit of Hayes Omega's Sur Ron Light Bee. It's in door dashing mode right now, by the way, so I have the seat cover on it. Okay, so this is the throttle on the Sur Ron Light Bee, okay? We're going to talk about the throttle right now, how it works, and then like we'll get to replacing that box, okay? So how that box fits in the puzzle, you know, type of thing. So here you got your throttle assembly. It's a lot like a normal motorcycle, okay? It's a lot like, say, the throttle on my DR650. It's cable activated, okay? So in here, there's a cam here, and you rotate this, it pulls on a cable, okay, a throttle cable here. Now there is a throttle cable adjustment here. Okay, so the parts are, you got your throttle tube, that's the plastic part that's in here, okay, and then there's a cam on the throttle tube that pulls on the cable, okay. This is your adjuster right here. This adjusts the slack on your cable, so if you adjust it inside, it gives it more slack. You adjust it outside, it gives you less slack. It tightens up the cable. And you want to adjust this so so the cable has just a little bit of slack, okay? Because if there's no slack, it may be open, and then your throttle's open. So that's one of the things that's different from the new throttle to the old throttle, is you can adjust the throttle. You can't adjust the throttle on the other one, the newer style, okay? And then so you got your cable right here, and the cable goes down. Go to this side of the bike. So there's the cable. It comes down here, and then it comes down here somewhere, and the throttle box lives right here, okay, where the skid plate is. In fact, you can see it peeking out right here, okay? I'm pointing to it right now. That's where it is. So to get to the throttle box, you got to take the skid plate out, okay? At least I think I do. I've never done it before, so okay. So that's the whole dealie, and then yeah, that's where that box that I showed you is hiding. And then basically, when you twist this cable, it rotates that cam, okay, or that wheel. This guy here, it is a cam. It rotates this, and it tells you how much. It tells the controller how much power to give it, okay. That's how it works. The very important thing about this is the cable. You need this special cable. It's like an automotive style kind of 3-wire cable, okay? And if you don't, then it'll be hard to install it. So this is a plug and play. So if this goes bad, all you got to do is replace the whole thing. So, which is $15, not bad. So, okay. All right. So that's how it works. So let's get to installing the new one, because I want to see. I want to take this thing to the track tomorrow and see how well it works. It should work the same. So what you're going to want to do is slacken your cable all the way. Okay, put as much slack on the cable, and hopefully we can get it out. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm tightening the throttle adjustment dealie here. Oh, you can take the whole thing out. That's interesting. And we're just going to put it all the way in the throttle housing. Okay, there you go. So now it's super slack. You see how much slack that is? So if I tug on the throttle right now, there's a lot of play, okay? And that's what we want. We want there to be a lot of play so we can get that throttle off of the box, okay? So that's the first thing to do. Okay, and then I'll show you the next thing to do. All right, here we go. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is take the skid plate out. So I suggest you don't put it on any kind of stand or anything, because we got to take the skid plate out. You won't be able to get it out if it's, if there's something on it. To remove the skid plate, if you guys haven't been watching my videos, because I've done a couple videos on this topic, you need to remove 4 bolts. Okay, I have the race spec Sur Ron skid plate, but it's very, very similar, and I apologize for the wind. It's kind of windy right now. The stock skid plate or the unicycle skid plate, installing it's roughly the same way. You just got to take these 4 bolts out, and then take the skid plate out, and then basically just do the opposite. I'm not going to go into much depth into that, okay? So here we go. Okay, here we are on the other side. Just going to take these bolts off. So on the Sur Ron race spec skid plate, this one is a special one right here. That's the first one you got to install. So. Oh, they're all really loose. I guess I should. It was a good idea I did this. So now I know to tighten this thing. Okay, so that's all 4. Go ahead and take your skid plate out. Boom. Wow, I can see this is deformed a little bit because there's marks from the motor here. Okay, so go ahead and set that stuff aside. And now we got access to our speed controller. Okay, so bear with 80s Omega because I don't know if... So One way you can take this thing out is you could crawl under the bike and just like take it out. But what some people do is, I saw in a forum how to access this thing is to just flip the bike around and put it upside down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the bike on its side. Okay, I think that's the best way to do it. If you didn't want to flip your 125-pound bike around, you know. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But it's right here. You can see it. It's really dirty too. Okay, that's it hiding right there. I don't know if we have to take anything else to get it out. Also, there's, just in case you're wondering, that's your DC to DC converter right there. It's also in a place that kind of, yeah, I think that's why mine is bad. It's really dirty. This bike has been through some dirty places, so you know they wear out after a while. Okay, all right. There's her out. All right, I apologize for the wind noise. There's nothing I can do about it. So I moved the bike more into the sun, so you guys can see more what's on the things Hades Omega does for you guys. Anyway, so there's the bottom. Feast your eyes on the bottom of Hades Omega's Sur Ron Light Bee. Okay, there it is. So the place where we'll be working with is right here. Okay. Okay. So there it is. There's the bottom. Now I guess it would be easier if you took this little plastic cover off here, but we're gonna see if we can do it without having to remove this. This is a little kind of cowl where your controller kind of protects your controller and stuff. Okay, but I don't want to try to leave it in there. Okay, so here we go. So there's, oh no, oh man, the motor's in the way. Okay, like I said, I've never done this before. All right, so what you're gonna want to do, wow, you might want to clean that cable too while you're at it. But anyway, so there's 4 screws that hold it in. Okay, there's like 2 up here. Okay, see, there's 2. There's one hiding here, and there's one hiding, and there's one right here. Okay, and then on the bottom are 2 more. There's one right here, and then one right here. And geez, there's one like it's like right behind the motor. Come on, Sur Ron. Jeez, how am I supposed to get that out? Okay, you're gonna have to take it out very carefully. Okay, so all right, here we go. I'm gonna give it a whirl. Okay, here we go. All right, apologize. It's kind of in the shadow a little bit, but so I guess the first thing to do is to remove the throttle cable. It is a little dirty, man. Okay, so you're going to want to open it all the way counterclockwise like this, and it should just slip right out. Okay? Okay, there you go. It's all the way out. Now you should be able to take the whole cable out. Okay, there you go. So there's a slit right here that the cable will come out, and there's the cable right there. Okay? Now we just got to take the hold on. There's another thing we got to do. Oh boy. Okay, so to access the connector right here, you're gonna have to open up this little thingy here, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to cut the zip tie, and then the connector is hiding in here somewhere. Okay, but for now, let's take out the throttle box. Okay, so like I said, it's the 4 screws. Okay, so I'm gonna start by removing the hardest one to get to. That's the one like that right behind the motor. I think I can get it at an angle. Yes, we could. Now it's going to be a pain in the ass to get that back in, though. So very carefully take it out. Hopefully you don't strip it too much. I'm probably going to scuff the motor up a little bit, too. Okay. Oh. Okay. There it is. So one of the screws came out, and it has a washer on it, too. So remember not to lose that. Oh, there's no screw. The screw's missing. There's no screw. The screw's already gone. Okay, so there's supposed to be 4 screws, but Hades Omega only has 3 of the 4 in there. Okay, I'll have to find another screw that's similar. Okay, so that's one of the maintenance things you want to do is make sure these screws are in here when you get a chance. Okay, so there's one more up here. Okay, this one is pretty easily visible. I can show you from the top. Okay, so from the top you can see this one. All right. So there's one right here. You can tell Hades Omega does not script these videos. Oh, it's missing another one. There's only 2. Oh yeah, there's only 2 holding it. Yeah, whatever it's connected on, there's only 2 screws holding it. Okay, well, I have a feeling this has been removed before because it's missing the washer for this one. Somebody's fiddled around with this. Don't like it. Okay, so there's the 2 screws right there, and the box just comes right out. I think. Okay, there it is. Came out. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, there's only 2 screws. Okay, that's odd. Okay, so Hades Omega didn't know that. There's only 2 screws that holds this thing in. There's 4 holes for screws, but only 2 of the 4 are used, okay? Just so it's the same exact one, Li Guang, okay? This one is very dirty. Yeah, I don't know why it's bad, but just whenever it gets wet, maybe I need to reseal it or something, but we're just going to replace it, okay? So make sure your DC-DC converter is still in there, good, okay? Alright, so the last thing to do is we need to get to that connector, okay? In that little bundle right here. So we're going to have to cut that zip tie. So I got some nippers right here. We're going to go cut this zip tie out here, fortunately. Okay. We're going to have to put it back when we're done. Okay, because we won't be able to get the wire out. So the wire is hiding right here, okay? Might have to peel this back. One thing we should have done is clean this. It's so dusty and dirty in here. Yeah, I should probably get an air hose and clean this. Okay, so there's the connector right there. You guys see? There's the connector right there. Just squeeze the little thing here and then pull it. It should come right out, okay? There it is. It's free. So remember how it's routed. It actually goes behind here and then up there, okay? So there it is. There's the throttle box unit. Okay, it's free. Now we're going to go ahead and install the new one. Okay, so I highly suggest before you do this, clean your bike. At least clean the bottom of your bike. Get all the dust out from here. Dust out. Okay, well there's another connector in there that don't go nowhere. It's interesting. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and install the new throttle box. Here's a new one. Okay, that's the new one, and there's the old one right there. Okay, so just remember to install it the same way you installed it before. How you had it before. I think it was like this. Yeah, I think it was like that. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is remember how the wire was routed. It was behind these cables here. Wow, this looks all kind of frayed and stuff, man. What's up with that? Okay, get this up in there and just try to connect it somehow. I'm going to twist it a little bit and connect it. Okay, don't forget to put the zip tie back on this thing. Any minute now. There we go. Oh. Okay, there we go. So you heard it snap. You want it to snap, okay? It might be, it might be a good idea to put some dielectric grease on that. Let me do that real quick. And Hades Omega forgot to hit the record button. Anyway, so what's happened so far is I put the throttle box how I found it, okay? I put the top screw back in. It's not rocket science, man. It's pretty simple. Just put it back the way you found it. Okay, the bottom one is probably going to be hard because I can't really see where the hole is. So, but just remember it's got to be like kind of in there perpendicular to everything. Okay, so I got to rotate it clockwise a little bit. I've got the other screw in there already, sort of, kinda, and then try to screw it in. Fortunately, it screws in kind of crooked. is really hard to work with. Okay, that bit isn't there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the top one now. Okay, so I left the top one loose, so I could thing it. Okay, make sure it doesn't move around at all. You want that thing to be pretty tight, dude. You don't want that coming loose while you're riding. That would be horrible. Oh, my throttle box came loose. What do I do? I'm gonna go make sure the bottom one is tight. It's amazing how I got that in there. Yeah. Maybe you might be able to use like an angled screwdriver tool. I'm not sure, but there we go. It's in there. All right. So here's your throttle cable right here. What I might do, I know this would be a good time to. That's okay. I'll just make sure that all the dust is off of it. I'll just spray all that dust off the cable. Okay, so that way you get a nice smooth cable. All right, so you're going to go ahead and put the cable back in the little channel here. It's kind of hard to see what's going on. It goes in the channel like that. Okay, and just ride it up into the hole, and then we're going to go connect, and then you're going to go turn this counterclockwise again. I need like 3 hands to do this. Not lying. I need like 3 hands to do this. One thing you could do is maybe use a screwdriver and carefully. Okay, here we go. So I'm using a screwdriver here, okay, to turn the throttle cam clockwise, counterclockwise, okay, and then I'm gonna put it in the thing. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so you see what's going on here? I've turned the throttle cam counter. Don't turn it too hard because the screw will come out and then the throttle will come apart. Okay, and then put it in. Haha! I found a good technique. There we go. And then just let it go, and then boom, you're done. Pretty much. Okay, and then next thing to do is to hide your cables here, protect them, put them in the little shroud here. So I've got to go get a new zip tie and do that. Okay, but just go ahead and put a zip tie back on this little booty thing here because it helps protect your connectors from moisture and dirt and all that good stuff. You definitely want that. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that zip tie back. There's a couple holes in the booty here. You just put them through and it helps close it up. While you're down here, you know, it's a good idea to just inspect everything, make sure everything's good to go. If you remember correctly, it was kind of tucked up in there too, so. Get it up in there. One thing you might want to do is make sure this cable is not touching the motor. Okay, so I'm pushing it back here. I'll show you where I routed it when I'm done. Okay, finally. Okay, just shove everything up in there, tighten it. Tighten it right. Okay. Okay, cool. This will be good. Cut zip tie a little bit. All right. Okay, so the way I routed it was there's the wire right here, okay, and I put it around the DC-DC converter around here. It was kind of touching the motor earlier. You don't want it to touch the motor because the motor gets really hot, okay? It can get really hot, so you don't want that wire to get melted or anything. So I'm going to route it down and around like that, okay? If anything, it's probably a good idea to zip tie it to this motor wire. He's going to go pick his bike up. Only 125 pounds, piece of cake, man. Gonna pick it up like a bicycle, you know? Boom, piece of cake. All right. Kickstand down. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go tighten the slack on the cable, okay? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and loosen this until there's no more slack, okay? So there's a tiny bit of slack, okay? So let's see, there's still slack right there, so we're going to loosen it. Still a little slack, and loosen it. Okay. Probably this cable's all stretched and stuff. So now let's take a look at the cable. The cable looks much tighter, okay? There's the cable. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to twist the throttle while holding the camera so you guys can see what's going on down here. Okay. See that? There you go. Okay, looks good. You don't want it so loose that the whole thing's going to come apart. Okay, so you definitely wouldn't loosen this all the way like that normally. So I think that's good. It's your preference how tight or loose you want the throttle. I'm going to have to play around with it a little bit. Definitely, if your bike is moving on its own, with you giving no throttle, you definitely want to loosen it a little bit. Okay, so I think, I don't know. Let's make sure there's just a little bit of slack. Okay, there's definitely more slack there. Okay, go ahead and put your stopper back in, stopper nut, tighten that. Okay, we're gonna fire the bike up. Hopefully it doesn't take off when okay, bike is on. I'm gonna go tilt it to on its side stand, give it throttle, and there you go, it works. Okay, there we go. Alright, the bike workies. So we're pretty much that. So that was the functions test. The last thing to do is to put the skid plate back on. I'll do that real quick, and then that'll be the end of the video. Alright, let me get it back in the garage. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and install the skid plate. I'm not going to walk you through it because I made other videos on it. So it's pretty simple. Just put it back the same way you found it. In the Race Spec Sur Ron's case, it's you want to put this part on first, okay? Alright, hey, it's Mick here. So that was how to replace the Sur Ron speed adjustment controller. Okay, that's or Mick just calls it the throttle box. Okay, that's what it is. So this is the old one right here. This is the one we took out. I didn't know that there was only 2 screws holding it in. It took, I would say it took about half an hour to like 45 minutes to do it. It wasn't hard at all. You gotta take the skid plate out. You gotta loosen the throttle, and then you gotta take the throttle box out and the cable, and then so there's kind of no torque specs, honestly. Just make sure the skid plate bolts are snug and tight. Actually, my bolts were kind of loose too, so I probably should be checking on those. And yeah, so I didn't know that like only 2 of the 4 holes in this thing are being used. Okay. And one of the screws is like right behind the motor, so it's really hard to get to. If the motor wasn't there, it would be a piece of cake. So that's what I'm gonna say. So just do your best to get it in there. Hopefully, I got it in there. It doesn't come loose. Yeah, and then just adjust your throttle slack, like I showed you. You want there to be a teeny tiny little bit of slack, so you know the throttle is closed when you actually close it. Okay. And then we tested it out and everything. We can test it out one more. Go ahead and fire the bike up. Hopefully it doesn't take off on me. Tilt it and then give it some throttle. I can feel I want to tighten the cable a little bit more. Okay. Because there you go. I want to make sure my regen throttle works good. Okay, regen throttle works good. Okay. Also for the NXT display, you're probably going to want to recalibrate your throttle. I'll show you that real quick. But for those of you that have like stock Sur Rons, you're not going to. Electric Race Technologies NXT display, and with this I can calibrate my throttle. So to do that, I go to the little menu here, and I go to Input Settings, and then we go to Throttle, and then we go to Throttle again, and then so this is firmware version 2.00 RC 6.3. Okay, so it'll probably change in the future is what I want to say. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to roll on the throttle 5 times really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. So and then it kind of takes an average of everything. So it shows you the throttle minimum is 0.94 volts. The throttle maximum is 2.92 volts. So it's making throttle full 3 volts, and then your idle is 0.89. Okay. So there's like 4 points it takes. Pretty cool stuff, and you could do it again if you don't think it's. So since the throttle's mapped, hopefully when I put the bike back in thing, and go. Okay, good to go. All right, so there you go. That's some information on the throttle system for the older Sur Ron Light Bees, how it works, and how to replace the Sur Ron speed adjustment controller, and then I just showed you how to calibrate it. Okay, so not too hard. I think you can probably do it like in an hour, maybe. You saw. You could flip the bike over like some people do, but I just laid it on its side. Hades Omega's rolling around in the grass and stuff, so yeah, but it's okay. Bike's not that heavy, so it doesn't hurt the grass too much. It'll grow back. So. All right, and you definitely want to take your bike out for a test ride, after. So that's probably what I'm going to do right now. So, all right, Hayes Miguel, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something.